The only way to overcome your, perhaps fear of being, in a network, is to do it anyway, is to find local groups, find networking opportunities, and just push yourself into that uncomfortable zone, because that's the only way to grow. That's the only way to overcome.
The Massage and Physical Therapist Talk Show, brought to you by Massage Warehouse.
So we're back on the Massage and Physical Therapist Talk Show for episode 6, and this is a special episode, not only because it is 2024, which is the first episode of the new year, and we've just been chatting before we went on record, and it's all going on this morning. Everything's going on. It's that kind of hazy time just after Christmas and New Year where the kids, some have gone back to school, some haven't. People don't know what day it is. I certainly didn't know what day it was. I do now. I do now, and our guest has arrived as well. So thankfully we all know what day it is. Hopefully, it is Thursday, isn't it? Not when this goes out, but it is when we're recording it. So we're off to a good start. So yeah, drum roll please. The guest today is just two of us today. So we've got myself, the host, Chris Maddon from Take a Breathe UK. And we guest with Monica Paslaru today. So I feel like I should have a fanfare or like a drum to build that up. Maybe we can get that added into the budget in the future. Eh? But welcome, Chris, Monica.
I'm really impressed. You actually pronounced my surname in the Romanian way.
Oh, look at that.
Many people can do that, so yeah, well done.
I'd like to say I've been practicing that all week, Monica, but I quickly looked at the call sheet this morning and I was like, right, I'll make sure that I'm really, but yeah, because I can't. I mean, maybe it's the Mancunian in me, but I'm rubbish at pronouncing anything at the best of times, So there we go.
Really well, you passed the test.
So how's it going, Monica? You having a good start to the year? Did you have a nice Christmas, nice New Year?
Yeah, it was really nice. Just quiet, spending time with family. I think it's pretty much what everyone does around this time of the year, isn't it? So yeah, just at home, lots of food. As we do, back to gym.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, definitely back to gym. I've been quite good, pretty much going back every day now. So, and yeah, New Year, do you know what? I fell asleep and I woke up just kind of before midnight back home in Romania, just so that I can call my parents. So yeah, it was pretty much rest and recharge for me. Nothing crazy, no crazy partying.
That's well, I'm with you on that. They're long behind me now. The crazy New Year's Eve. Pre-COVID, because I do a bit of DJing as well, believe it or not. And before COVID, it feels like pre-COVID feels like the prehistoric sort of ages, doesn't it now? But I'd normally DJ every New Year's Eve, which is always good fun. But then when COVID hit, I managed to, obviously nowhere was open. So I think it was I had a couple of years of not doing it. And then when I got asked to do it again, I was a bit like, quite fancy just watching Jules Holland on the telly and doing the countdown and going to bed. So, so I've not bothered since. I'm kind of used to putting my feet up now on New Year's Eve. So,
you get to enjoy that time and peace, don't you?
Yeah, I feel, yeah. And you actually feel rather refreshed the following day, which is kind of always nice to start a new year, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
So, Monica, not to put you on the spot, but I was doing a bit of delving into your business, your Instagram page, found it fascinating. And I'd just like to pick up a couple of points on there. So I noticed... So you run a company called the Elemental Massage School, is that correct?
Correct, yes. Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. And you were FHT Tutor of the Year in 2022.
I was, yeah, which was a real shock, if I'm honest, because the year before that, actually, I knew that some of my students have nominated me because they've come forward and they said, look, we've nominated you. But last year, I was not aware. And actually, when the email popped into my inbox, I was like, I'm just going to read it to see who has been nominated, not expecting my name there whatsoever. And when I saw my name, I was like, what? So, yeah, it was a real nice surprise, actually.
I feel like that because FHT is obviously a big organization. You know, I think I'm with the FHT, and it's like I've kind of yo-yo between different, you know, always try.
Organization. Yeah.
Actually, I might be with Balins now. Actually, I'd have to check, but I'm definitely with
That's
someone.
so good, Chris. You
Yeah,
should know.
the posters on the wall in my practice. So, but FHT obviously they're like the go-to. I
Mm,
feel, you know, anyone starting out, anyone, you know, it's like, you know, anyone's got a membership with the FHT. So to
yeah.
have a, you know, an award as like, you know, as tutor of the year for such a big organization must be a massive sort of, you know, badge of honor for you.
Definitely, yeah. It was an achievement that, it was on my vision board for sure. But I didn't expect to get it so quick, It wasn't that kind of 5-year vision board, but yeah, it was such a nice surprise. And it actually made me really emotional when, because they told me that I won before it was made public, obviously, just a while before. But I wasn't allowed to make it public. Um, but yeah, it was so hard to keep it in, so hard to actually, reach out to my students and say a massive thank you for that. But yeah, it was a nice achievement.
Oh, brilliant. And you're just talking there about vision board. So just with it being the start of the year and, you know,
Mm.
fresh sort of everyone's like, you know, it gets to this time where everyone's like, right, I'm really going to kick on this year. So you're saying vision boards, is that something you do at the start of every year? Is that something you do, you know, is it something you think, right, this year this is what I'd like to achieve. This
Yeah.
is where I can see things going. Or is that just something you do every, you know, month by month, regardless to the new year?
Do you know what? I do a bit of both. Certainly do the yearly one, which is something that I haven't always done. I've started to do it in the last 3 years. Every year at the beginning of the year, I sit down and I do a bit of reflection on the year before that. And I also go back to the previous year's kind of intentions and vision board that I set. And it's such a nice feeling to go back and read all those goals that you have set and actually go and tick them as well. Because I would say about 90% of them have already been ticked. And it's such a great feeling to see that you have actually set those goals and you work towards them and you achieve them as well. So I got into the habit of doing that every year. But I also do set the smaller goals, which are on a month to month basis, sometimes weekly, depending on, the area that I work with. But yeah, it's great to have those big goals at the beginning of the year, and then at the end of the year, go back, reflect, and tick those boxes because they are definitely going to be ticked.
I think it's really important because it's like this whole manifesting, you know, you
Mm.
sort of, you know, it's that attitude of I can do anything if you know I set my sights and I work towards it. It might not happen straight away, might not happen this year, you know. So it's not like you're
Absolutely.
saying I'm going to get this award by the end of the year. I'm going to be full every day with clients, Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
I don't have to work evenings anymore. You know, I don't have to do weekends. You know, whatever it is that you're wanting to set, it might take a while to get to that point, but it's all about that sort of manifestation of
Yeah.
yeah. So I also wanted to ask you, Monica. So I noticed you. So you practice this. It's called nurture touch method.
Hmm.
What is that? Because I've not heard of that before. So I thought rather than look into it loads, I'll just you know what we're on here chatting. I'll just ask you what is it?
Well, you couldn't have heard of it because it's kind of my own method that I've created. Obviously, the nurture touch is general terms that you would hear about, but the actual method. So basically, what I do in those courses that have the nurture touch method is I don't just look at the physical side of therapy. I also look at the deeper layers, such as emotional. I'm a great believer that we as therapists can help clients not just on a physical level, but also going deeper on emotions, because sometimes the physical symptoms that they perhaps experience are not necessarily due to a physical issue, and they could go, a lot deeper. So, yeah, in those courses, we explore the emotions, the emotional side of symptoms as well as the spiritual side, because again, it's body, mind, spirit, isn't it, in massage therapy. So I feel that yes, we can help on the physical side, but if you're not aligned with the others as well, like the mind and the spirit and the emotions, I feel that you are missing out. And when you are aligned, you could do so much more for the clients.
And the clients will get so much more out of their session as well with
Yes.
this. And we have discussed this in other podcasts where we've said we're kind of like counselors as well as massage therapists. And there's,
100%, yeah.
and there's that element of we're not just working the physical, we're working with our clients mentally as well and on an emotional level. And ultimately that we'll always get the best out of them. And, if the body's relaxed, if the client's relaxed, we'll always get the best out of them. So that's really interesting. And where are you based, Monica? Is it?
So I'm based, well, that's great news that I wanted to share with you today as well. Actually, today marks exactly 1 year since I set up my school.
Oh, wow. So that's still very early then, isn't it? Just 1 year.
Very early, yes. So I'm really excited. And I just wanted to say a massive thank you to my students because I wouldn't have been here without them. So I've just expanded as well. Whereas before I just used to be based in London. Now I have taken on board 3 new tutors. And we've expanded to Essex and Liverpool.
Oh, brilliant. So you've got somewhere near me as well, because I'm obviously, a lot of the therapists I talk to on here seem to be more southern based. We've got people in London. And so I'm Manchester. So Liverpool for me is about, half hour, 40-minute drive. So, so Liverpool's a great place. I've got some like corporate clients that I work with in Liverpool and stuff. So I am there quite a bit, but that's good to know then. So there's courses I could book on to go on in Liverpool then. Brilliant.
And, these tutors have been carefully selected by me, and obviously I personally train them because I wanted to make sure the quality of the training is, remains consistent across the venues. Because I know sometimes students want to just do courses with me, and they book in and they say, "Oh, I booked them to this course, but I didn't realize it wasn't with you." I just want to reassure them that they have been fully trained by me, and the quality of the training is going to be exactly the same. I fully appreciate their loyalty to me, but we have to grow, right? So for me, this is growth in the business as well as personal.
Definitely. And I can completely relate with that because, and this will lead us on to what today's topic is actually about. But I'm in a similar sort of position where when I started, when you start out and it's just you, obviously, and for a lot of therapists, it is just, and that's great. It can just be you. You don't have to expand. You can be busy enough all week, just you. And, but people grow to like you, don't they, as a person? You are the business. People know it is you. So people always want you. So
because they relate to you first before they buy into your services, your products, whatever it is that you're selling or providing. They buy to you first as a person. They relate to you on different levels. So I fully appreciate that. But yeah, like you say, we can either stay in the same place and become comfortable in there, or we can expand and grow the community and move on from where we are.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. And I like how you say, it's people that work, under your umbrella, if you like, with you. They're people that you know personally, you've trained up. Because I've had like corporate clients in the past where obviously they've got to know me, they really like me as a therapist, and then obviously things got busy. I can't be in every place at once,
Exactly.
So I've had to sort of expand a little bit and take on a small team, a small team. I'm not saying, hordes and hordes of therapists, like, that I don't know. I'm talking 2 or 3 people that I know really well, that I've been to myself for massage sessions. People that I would argue that are probably more, they've been doing it longer and better. And I'd say they're better than me. I mean,
Yes, I love that.
And there's been times when companies have said to me, when we've done like corporate days, and they've said, "Oh, are you not coming? Are you not doing it?" I'm like, "I'm really sorry, I'm working elsewhere that day." But rest assured, the person that's come in is extremely good, and you know, you've got my word for that, you know, and it's just about trying to make sure that you're not doing, because you will burn out. I feel if you are wanting to expand, you can't do everything basically, and that's kind of the gist of it, isn't it? But then some people are happy just doing it all themselves, you know. But then you'd have to put a limit on how much you do, don't you know?
But it's not
Um,
just a limit on what you do, it's a limit on your growth as well. Because
yeah,
if you keep doing the same thing, all the time, you're basically not growing as a person, not growing as a business, not growing on different other levels. So and for some people that's fine, and it's, there's no judgment on there. It's absolutely whatever works for them. Um, but some people like to grow and like to go different
yeah,
places.
definitely. So did you start out as just a massage therapist, just treating clients,
Yeah,
and
I
then
did.
naturally progressed into wanting to maybe teach other people to, you know, how to do the things that you're doing, to a point where it's grown into a massage school.
Absolutely, yeah.
What
Exactly what you just said, yeah.
was the, you know, the final sort of point when you were thinking, you know what, I'm going to set this up as a school? Was it how did it feel? Was it a bit, were you a bit on the edge of, you know, can I do this? Shall I do this? Or did you just think, you know what, I'll just do it and see what happens and go for it?
No, you know what happened when I decided to start teaching? It was actually after I competed in the Masters Championship. Um, because I have been approached by many of the therapists observing at the time, asking me if I can teach them what I've just performed in the championship. And I was like, well, I don't actually teach at the moment, but that's an idea for me to kind of, take it and grow it. So from there, I started to teach privately, and I was just doing a couple of courses at a time. And then I had an opportunity to join a different school, and teach with them. So I was teaching with them for a few years. And then sadly, I had some personal issues in my life, which didn't allow me to carry on teaching for the school. So I had to stop teaching for them. And I took a break, to kind of think, what do I want to do next? At the same time, going through this person, I was going through divorce basically. So it wasn't easy. I took a break, and then students have kept messaging me and emailing me like, what is happening? Where are you? Where have you disappeared?
We
Like,
need you, come back.
need you, we want you to teach us. So that was kind of my sign. And I said, okay, it's time for me to set my own. So I said, I'm going to start small, maybe start to teach from home, with a couple of courses. So I got working, I started to write my own courses, I got them accredited. And this is how I started basically. I started from home, teaching to small private classes. And then from there, I expanded because the demand was there. So I had to kind of move out of my home and find another venue. So I'm based in Liverpool Street. And that's where I teach basically from now.
Brilliant. So anyone listening to this that maybe is in an area of the world, because we, you know, everyone
Mm,
that's part of this community that listens to these podcasts, that's on the Facebook groups from all over the world, they might be thinking, you know what, I've been a massage therapist for so many years, and I feel I'm really good. There's nothing in my area to train and teach other people. You know, I want to do something like that. They could follow in your footsteps. It's all achievable. They can manifest and get this on there.
Well, I truly hope they get inspired, because when you have this passion, it would be a shame not to share it.
Of course,
Um, And for me as a teacher, I got asked many times, like, what makes a good teacher? For me, and I really like what you said before, actually, about you having other therapists that perhaps are even better than you. Because for me as a teacher, I know I've done a great job when my students overgrow me.
definitely.
Um, and, for me, that's not, some people might get, a bit jealous of their development. For me, that's a personal achievement, because I know I've contributed to their development, and I know that they've done so well that, they overgrown me. Um,
I think
and
that's
how,
how. I was just going to say that's how it should be. I feel it's this
Yeah,
community. It's not a competition. It's, we're not against. None of us are working against each other. It's not like we're all fighting each other for clients. There's enough space and enough
absolutely.
love to go around. And I know that there's people that work with me now that at some point they probably be off doing their own things elsewhere, and that's complete. That's great.
Yeah,
Because it's just how it goes. And if anything, it pushes you to want to do more yourself, because you see people strive and get, keep learning, get better, and it makes you want to do the same, and it breeds positivity, I feel. But everything we've just been chatting about already is kind of already what I wanted to talk about in today's session, which is this dreaded word that people, when they hear it, they shudder and they think, oh no, I don't have to do that, do I? Oh no, do I? What, really? Do I? People thinking, what's he on about? Networking. Okay. I think when I hear the word networking, I get a slight shudder up my spine, and I think, oh no, do I have to go to the local group in my area and have a really bad cup of coffee that's like instant coffee on the side, and walk around with a sticker on with my name on? And I have to kind of make the effort to talk to people and be like, hi, my name's Chris. What do you do? Do you know?
Yeah.
And then people go, oh, hi, Chris. I'm a business banker. I work in finance. What do you do? Oh, I'm a massage therapist. Oh, right. I feel like that's what I feel in my head networking is going to be like. And I've done that. I've been there to a fair few little bits and bobs like that before. And it kind of feels like speed dating, but for in a business sort of world instead, yeah. Is that networking? What do you think when you hear the word of networking?
I think we kind of moved away a little bit from that, but let's just kind of see what actually networking is, because for me, when I think about networking, I think about building a support system around me. I think about being part of a community. Of course, when you network, you want to network with kind of the same people that share the same passion as you, that share the same goals, and when you're part of that community, for me, that's my support system, because especially when you work as a self-employed, for example, it can get quite lonely, right?
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
you don't have a team, you don't have an employer, you don't have a structure, perhaps sometimes. So it can get quite lonely. So when you have that community, when you have that network that you can reach out to, for me, that's your support network. It gives me personally a sense of belonging. I know that even though I am, most of the time working on my own, I still have that support network there that I belong to. And for some people, that's really important because it really gives them the confidence. When you work on your own, you don't really know whether you're doing the right things. You don't know, sometimes you come across challenges on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes you come across maybe some difficult clients that you don't know how to deal with, or, medical issues that clients might present and you don't know how to deal with. So when you have that network, that community that you can reach out to, it just makes it less lonely for you and more supportive. That's how I see it anyway.
While we have you here listening, we have a super quick announcement about our simple to use massage table adhesive repair patch. Here at Massage Warehouse, we understand how important your massage table is to you and how much you try to keep your table protected. Oh! However, accidents can happen. The last thing any therapist wants to see is an unsightly tear, rip, or mark on their table. Not only do these marks look bad, there is a chance that they will grow and cause even more damage to your table. Many therapists think they'll have to replace their entire table. However, we have a solution. Introducing our massage table adhesive repair patches, the simple way to fix tears and prevent further damage to your table. To use the patch, first clean around the area of the tear for any dust or dirt using a dry cloth. Next, peel off the back of the patch. After this, carefully apply the patch over the tear. Finally, smooth around the edges of the repair patch for a perfect application. And your table should be repaired and good to go. Our patches come in 3 different colours: black, navy and cream. We have different size repair patches available, and should you have a uniquely shaped tear on your upholstery, we can create a custom size repair patch for you. Check out our website massagewarehouse.co.uk to see the full range. Now back to the show.
So, you know, when we need help or we need advice or guidance, I mean, for me, the first thing I do is get straight onto that Massage Warehouse Facebook group.
Yeah.
And put a post on there. And I can guarantee within a minute, there'll be 10 replies.
Well, I did that actually. This year I was invited as a speaker at Olympia Beauty. And before I actually accepted the invitation, I needed to do a bit of research as to what can I speak about. It had to be well-being related. So I actually went onto the Massage Warehouse Facebook group and I said, okay, this is what I need to speak about. Like, what would be the areas or the subjects that you most struggle with in your day-to-day, massage business? And it was amazing because that's how I got to pick my subject. I found that so helpful that, like you say, it's so great to have that place to go to when you need some support and you have some questions.
And there's lots of things as well, like it's, I'm always watching on there. I always like to, I try to comment as much as I can with my input, and my input sometimes is different to everyone else's, but it just gives that sort of perspective so that, people, whatever the issue might be or the question might be, there's a range of answers to help, come up with a rational response maybe. So there's a lot of comments on there about people that might have tricky clients. They might have issues with clients that don't want to pay if they've cancelled late and how to approach it, blah, blah, blah. So it's about having that community, isn't it? And again, I keep going back to this. It's not a competition.
No.
Now, some people might think, well, I'm not telling them how I do that because that's how I work. I run my business and I don't want to give away all my secrets, but it's not about that, is it? We're all trained to the same standard to be able to do the job that we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone has their own little ways of doing things, and that's what makes you unique, and makes you differ to someone else. But you can't really tell anyone what that is anyway. That's just you. That's how you are as a human,
way of being, yeah.
Yeah, that's something you can't really sort of teach as such, That's what's unique to you, and that's why a lot, we were saying about our students. If we've got people that work with us that are different to us, and we might think, oh, they're better than me or whatever, and it doesn't matter, and they're different and they've got their own way, and that's something you can't copy, So the way I see it is you're not giving away secrets. You're just helping this community thrive. And in my opinion, if this community is thriving, it benefits us all because more people are thinking, oh, I'm going to go out and book myself for a deep tissue massage or whatever it might be, because they've heard about it. They've seen that it's popular. They've seen that it's not just a treat. It's something that's actually needed to help make you feel good and help just navigate through this crazy world that we live in.
Fortunately, I think people are now becoming a lot more open to seeing massage not a luxury but a necessity really, and to seeing the benefits of it. So yeah, I think you're right.
So for someone listening now and they're thinking, right, well, I've just started out. I don't know anyone. I don't like talking to people. So what do we do? Well, first thing I'd say is you get on the Massage Warehouse Facebook group. I'm sure people listening probably already are, otherwise they might not have found this podcast. But what else do they do?
I think it's important that they actually do that because, like I said, especially for someone that's brand new to the industry, they just, graduated from their level 3 and they're kind of looking now on where to start, I think the Facebook group is a good place to start, because there are so many tips that have been shared already in there, and they can go back and read through those, because it can be quite daunting, right? The things that you will find in that group are things that are not necessarily taught during their massage course. So I think it's really, really helpful to have that platform and go and kind of familiarize yourself and read other people's stories and see where and how you can get started on your journey as well. But like you say, for someone that is not really a massive talker, maybe they're, introvert, not so much an extrovert, so they don't really find it easy to network. And actually, let me tell you a little bit about my own story here, because if you would have asked me 5 years ago to come onto this podcast, I guarantee you I would have not been here. I'm an introvert myself, and it took me years and years of self-development to actually become a lot more extrovert. So I still have my introvert kind of elements, but I've become a lot more extrovert now. And many of my students that perhaps are watching this are going to be shocked, because now I'm so much of a talker, whereas before, if I would go onto a course, I would be the person sitting in the back of the classroom, hoping that I don't get asked any questions, hoping that nobody wants to talk to me. Now I'm the person in the front row, being so engaging and talkative and all that. So to go back to your question, I think the only way to do that, the only way to overcome your, perhaps fear of being, in a network, is to do it anyway, is to find local groups, find networking opportunities, and just push yourself into that uncomfortable zone, because that's the only way to grow. That's the only way to overcome those fears that you might have, maybe take a friend with you, find a fellow therapist, or they don't even have to be a therapist. Take them with you to kind of give you that initial confidence. I find that helps sometimes. If you take someone with you, they're perhaps more extrovert than you are. It kind of breaks the ice for someone that's more introvert.
I think seeing it as a social thing is a good way to see it. Because there's where I am in Manchester, near a place called Altrincham, and there's lots of networking. I know a lot of the people that run them now, just from like going and I don't go out my way to go. It's that fine balance, because sometimes people will be thinking, and this is what I used to think, I can't go to that. I need to be working. I've not got time to be going to that. I need to be earning money, But then you've got to see the bigger picture of, by going to these things, that's how you're going to grow and earn more money, Then
it's investing in the future.
Yeah, you're investing
in the present, but it's what comes out of it in the future.
Yeah, and if you're the type of person that gets a bit nervous around people, these events, they're not full of bad people. No. Everyone there is pretty much in the same position as you. Yeah. And when you go to nice ones, which there are plenty of nice ones now, and a lot of them are free, they don't want to cost you anything. And they're in a nice local cafe, and you go and you get a coffee and you're just chatting with people. I would say if anyone is manifesting this year and they're thinking, right, I'm going to do this year, maybe if they're wanting to grow, attend some networking events in person, so people can meet you, see what you're, get to know you as a person is such a good thing.
If we're talking about networking with the general public, like you say, it doesn't even have to be massage related. It could be maybe that they have another passion and they could attend, an event related to that passion. Like I have students, for example, that they're into art, so they go to like art therapy sessions, or and again, they get a lot of clients from there. Or listen, it doesn't even have to be an event. You can go to the gym and you can network there, right? You can just talk to people around you, and that's it. You're networking already. You're making new connections, forming possibly potential new clients, and that's still networking, isn't it?
Listen, the amount of times I've tried to persuade my accountant into thinking that my gym membership costs is a important business cost, because the amount of clients I actually get when sat in the steam room and sat in the sauna with all these blokes that have just been in the gym, and we're chatting about work, and they say, "Oh, what do you do?" And I say, "Oh, I'm a massage therapist," and they go, they go, oh, I need to book in with you, you know, and I ring my accountant all the time and I say, listen, I know you say I can't claim for my gym membership, but I've had 4 new clients through my gym membership this week.
Absolutely.
Surely that is networking. Can we not put it down as networking? And you know, he's like, oh well, the rules, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, you know, because like you say, that is networking. Being in
Absolutely.
these events, these scenarios, this is networking, you know. So I fully agree with that. So it's not as plain and simple as you don't have to just be a networking event, although there are lots of them out there for people to try. And I would say try different ones as well. If you go to one and you feel you really didn't like it, it might have been maybe a bit too corporate-y for you, a bit kind of too business sort of heavy. Then you know, I've been to a fair few of them, and I find sometimes it's nice being the only massage therapist at a networking event where everyone else is like big corporate working world, because then they all turn and be like, oh, we could do with getting you in with us at our place, or you know, I could do with coming to see you because I'm really stressed because I've been working so much, you know. So sometimes it's quite good to be at ones that you wouldn't normally think is for you, because they'll all need you.
Yeah.
You know, so you end up becoming the most popular person at them, and people sometimes get bored talking to the same people all the time that work the same job, and it's refreshing to have someone that works in a different field at that event. So yeah, it's worth doing, I think.
And then, like I said, let's not forget the online side of it as well. Like for some people that perhaps are maybe too busy to, you know, make the time and attend an on-person event. For example, our school last year, we did something called online therapist meetup. So we would run it once a month for a couple of hours, and sometimes I'd have like a guest speaker as well. So it would be more kind of centered and focused around the subject area, or sometimes it could be a general where therapists can just come and, you know, have a chat, anything massage related, share tips, ideas. So that's also another option, and we're planning on running that this year as well.
I was just about to say, are you doing another one? Because
Yeah, and you know, the feedback that we had was amazing. You know, it's something that's needed out there. We didn't find anyone doing it already. Perhaps there may be someone else doing it now. I don't know. But when we started doing this, there wasn't anyone or anything like this. And the feedback that we had from therapists attending was great. So it kind of encouraged me to carry on doing that this year as well. We
well, please
also,
do share that when you get that up and running. Share it on the
yeah,
Facebook group, and I'm
yeah,
sure
absolutely.
Massage Warehouse will get that shared as well, because that would be
Yeah, definitely. Well, they did last year, so yeah, absolutely. When I have dates for this year, I will definitely share that on there. What we also do is like focus days. So we'd have days where it's not a certified course, it's more like an exchange, like massage exchange, days where therapists can come and, you know, brush up on their skills maybe, or maybe try a new therapy that they haven't tried before. And it's also a networking opportunity for them. So they don't just come to do hands-on practice, but also we share ideas, we share, you know, new opportunities. The amount of opportunities students have had from coming to these focus days, like you said, you know, you might be based in an area that another therapist can't cover, and they would be like, hey, can you, you know, see this client because I don't cover that area. So you come across so many opportunities that, you know, you wouldn't find elsewhere unless you did attend these networking events.
yeah. And I feel like going for massage sessions yourself, or
Oh, yeah.
reflexology, or you know, whatever it is a form of networking.
Yeah.
So for me, I like to, whenever, you know, as much as possible, to be honest, I'll book in at different places and go for a reflexology treatment, go for a massage session, acupuncture, you know, whatever it is. You know, I'd go every day if I could afford it, to be quite honest. But I've met so many amazing people through just through going and treating myself to these sessions. And I say treat, it's not a treat. I feel it's a necessity, especially if we work in this field, because we work hard and we need to look after our bodies. Otherwise, we won't be doing it forever, you know. But that is a great form of networking in itself. Is practicing what you preach, going out and booking yourself in at places. And I find that some therapists get a bit nervous if they know that if they know that another therapist has booked in with them. And I don't know if that's because they think, oh, they're going to be watching everything I do and scrutinizing it, or, you know, or trying to steal tips, you know. Yeah. And there's been times when I've not wanted to say, you know, when you're filling out the form and it says occupation, and I'm thinking, I don't know whether to say that, because I don't want them to panic and be like, oh. But then I always have a laugh with them, and, you know, and it's nice to know. And I always say, because I switch off completely, I'll be honest. If I book in with someone for a massage treatment, even if they're doing something really amazing, and I think for a split second, oh, what is that? You know, before I know it, I'm gone anyway. I've completely, you know,
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how it should be. But I know people do panic, you know, when they see other therapists have booked in with them, because there's that element of pressure, isn't there? But that other therapist doing that, like you say, it's networking, it's meeting other therapists. And you know what? I like it. It's putting money back into our field. It's keeping our field alive. It's keeping, you know, what we do thriving by us as therapists going out. And it's a bit like, you know, supporting your mates that work in bars and restaurants and stuff, and keeping the local food eatery places alive, and the local bars thriving as well. It's like, oh, you know what, I'm not fancy a drink today, but well, I'll go and help them out because it's quiet. You know, any excuse, isn't it?
I agree. And you know, like you said, this you know, can also be done in the form of exchange as well. So, you know, when you come onto these networking events or courses or workshops, and you find someone that's local to your area, you know, do exchange numbers and do follow up with each other, and, you know, book your self-care days, because it's not only a networking opportunity, but it's also a self-care as well as learning development for you, because you learn so much from each other. As we were saying earlier, everyone is so unique in their approach and in their modalities, and you just grow. There's nothing else that comes out of that other than growth, you know, both personally and on a professional level as well. And I do agree with what you just said, that people sometimes can get nervous. And I get that quite a lot, actually. When I book in, especially if I say I teach massage, they get quite nervous.
Because if you say you teach it, that's when you know, if you booked in with me and I'd not met you before, and I'd seen that you're not just a massage therapist but a massage teacher, like, I, you know, straight away, and I'd come round and I'd be fine. But the first thought would be that amygdala sort of response of fight, flight, or freeze, where it's like
that inner voice will start to
teacher. I'd be like, oh no, you know. But it'd be fine. You know, it'd be absolutely fine. But yeah, I get what you.
Like you say, I switch off instantly. Honestly, maybe at the very beginning, I used to be like, oh, okay, I like what they're doing. I like this. I like that. I'm gonna, you know, implement that. But now, the minute I hit that massage bed, I'm like gone. Like, I switch off, and that's it. There's no judgment on my part. There's no, you know, oh, you know, what are they doing? How are they doing? Switch off and enjoy the session completely.
Well, hopefully that gives people some sense of comfort in those situations. And like you say, there shouldn't be any egos in our line of work. And I feel, you know, there'll always be people that have, you know, have egos and stuff. But in my opinion, the massage therapists and physical touch therapists and complementary therapists that are going to strive and you know, really, you know, propel and prosper in their business and their work are the ones that don't have egos. They're happy to join a networking community of other therapists. Happy, you know, it's all about the greater good, and I feel that you know, and I think we're on the same wavelength with that, and I'm sure most people listening to this are going to also agree. So a lot of information there. We've kind of threw everything at the wall. We've given lots of information. I'm sure people might be listening and be thinking, oh right, okay, where do I start with that? Well, no worries. It can be watched back. It can be, you know, listened to them multiple times. If anyone's got any questions, I would say to put them in the comments on the YouTube video, on the comments on when the posts have gone out on the Facebook group. Myself, and I'm sure you too, Monica, are happy to help with any questions that people might have. And I'm sure there's probably a lot of people that have points that we've not mentioned, that know more about networking than me and you as well, and that's great. So if anyone listening wants to put comments out there, add points to this, for this, this sense of community, that, let's do it. And my final point will be is that, going back to what we said at the very start, it's the start of 2024. We're manifesting, we're setting targets, we're sort of this whole New Year resolution sort of vibes going on. So let's get networking as one of those. Let's, in whatever form that may be, give it a try.
Yeah, absolutely. Just, as we mentioned, if we change the mindset slightly, the way we see networking, rather than just see it as a daunting task, see it as a way of building relationships and as a way of connecting with others, learning from each other, and just growth. If we were to summarize networking in one word, for me, it would be growth.
Brilliant. And let's leave that there, because I think that's a nice way to leave that. So what I would say is, anyone listening, make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow the pages so that you'll get notified for the next podcasts that will be going out. These are regular things now, and we've got a whole host of interesting therapists, business owners, teachers, everyone basically, all coming together to have a chat about what we do and how we can help each other. So, Monica, it's been a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you for having me today.
And it's been really interesting to chat to you. And I'll be following your pages and keeping my eye on what courses you'll be running in Liverpool, because it is on my list to get some new bits and bobs under my belt this year, just to keep meeting people and keep growing myself. So, I could fancy a couple of days in Liverpool. That sounds.
Services on our website, which is elemental-massage.co.uk. You find all the courses there, all the venue locations, and any other information that you require. So I'm sure Sarah, our Liverpool tutor, would be very happy to have you.
Oh, brilliant. And Monica, it'd be great if, when this goes out, if you could put a comment in the YouTube videos with your links as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just so everyone that's listening can get straight onto your page and check it out. So that'd be fantastic. Okay, right, we'll leave that there. We'll get on with our busy days, I'm sure. Unless people listening still don't know what day it is, like myself, because we're in that post Christmas, post New Year haze. But let's get networking, and we'll see you all at the next episode.
Brilliant. Have a great day, everyone.
The Massage and Physical Therapist Talk Show. We discuss the talking points that matter to you, the therapist. A lot of work goes into creating the talk shows, and we'd be very grateful if you can choose Massage Warehouse when shopping for massage supplies, so we can continue to create these amazing podcasts. Massage Warehouse is your one-stop shop for massage supplies and does great work supporting our wonderful community. Until next time,